Nigeria won, Congo won, but it is Congo that are through on penalties after extra time through sudden death, and the reality is that it was well deserved. If you are a diehard Nigerian or Nigerian fanboy, I recommend you don't watch this video because I want to say a few home truths about this team, the federation, and just where Nigerian football is as a whole, really. Because one of the things that Nigeria is really good at is making you think that there is a chance or there is some hope. And when it's needed, when it's necessary, when you're like, right, you need to deliver, it completely and totally fails. And that's basically the summary of this team, I think, where Nigeria, the federation is, and arguably the country as well. Because this was awful. I was waiting. The first 10 minutes of the game were the best football I've seen in Nigeria. Got a goal early on, and you're like, right, okay, cool, let's go. And for large parts of the first half, we had the ball. Congo didn't really have any real control over the game. Their passing was misplaced all over the place, hoofing the ball up long to try and get at the defenders. But we were just bricking our chances over and over and over again. No communication, past the final third. The front four, awful, trash, etc. Then the goal equaliser comes. And the funny thing about this game is that if Brick Didi, who, that's his name now, not Ndidi, but Brick Didi, had assisted the Congolese player to score, I actually probably would have won this game. Yes, in the second half, Congo were better, had more chances. You could see them more settled, more comfortable, passing the ball. It looked to me that Nigeria were playing for penalties from minute 50 because they didn't really offer anything going forward. There was no cohesion in the play. The midfield was non-existent. There was no communication with attack in the midfield. Defense kept on going, getting attack. There was nothing, you know. And but for Stanley, the man in goal, making a few. I mean, he saved. One was going in on the near post in, and the last minute header in. The reality is that second half performance, Congo deserved to win. Extra time could go neither here nor there, but again, it was pretty much most the same thing. One-way traffic, maybe one or two chances for Nigeria, that was it. Now, the penalties. You have to score at least your first one or two penalties, I'm sorry. For Calvin Bassey, a defender, to take the first penalty, I think was an absolute joke. He's supposedly a European experienced player, and sky's a penalty. You can't even get it on target. These are these men who go and get money on doing things and supposedly are the crop of Nigeria that play in European football, but you can't take a penalty. You can't even get it on target. At least the second one missed, okay, it wasn't great when it got on target. You couldn't get it on target. And that set the precedent. Because Congo scored their penalty. They missed theirs. No, they missed their first one, but then scored their second one, and we missed our second one. But for Stanley to save two penalties, you're like, you gotta do more. I actually thought that keeper-wise, we had the better keeper going in. I just didn't trust the outfield players, and I was right. You save two penalties, score at least 4. Can't do that. And then sudden death, we obviously miss. Poor penalty again. The Congo penalty, you could see we're getting better and better and better and better and better. And, you know, I don't know. Jamaica are going to a World Cup. Nigeria are not. Neither Ghana, for that matter. In fact, most West African countries, West Africa as a footballing, I think we have to have a conversation that West Africa, I think, as an area, as a footballing, is done. It's over. No Ivory Coast, no Cameroon, no Nigeria, no Ghana, I think. I don't know about Senegal. Did Senegal make it? I think Senegal have made it. But those four, no. Bricks, total, gone. And listen, at the end of the day, yes, you could say how we didn't buy any qualifiers, it beat South Africa, but we needed essentially the goal difference of Osimhen and a few adjustments here or there to even get into this stage. Yes, we can complain about the fact that why does Nigeria have to play 2 or 3 playoffs to get through? Yes, we can say that. But at the end of the day, the performance on the day wasn't good enough. The NNFF, again, this whole thing, like, you're like, okay, so why are we talking about money now? Whether it's maybe because they leaked it out so that they would give a reason as to why the players weren't good enough, they didn't train, haven't been paid, all the rest of it. You got a tournament, all this nonsense, so, which, you can look at and go, a team, a nation that has the amount of players, the talent and everything in that country, always consistently failed to be utilized because of the rank and file corruption in the team, in the federation, and in the country. AFCON is coming. I think AFCON is coming soon. If you're Nigerian, don't bother support. If you really care about this football team's country, I don't want to see a single Nigerian going and supporting his team at the AFCON. I don't care what. This is a World Cup, and I do always like the AFCON. If you see what this team did, no sane Nigerian should be going and cheering this team at the AFCON at all. For what? For what? To do what? To disappoint everyone again, like the previous AFCON in the final, to give some, we're this, we're that, we're something like that. And at the end of the day, nothing. For all of Nigeria's efforts over the last 10 years, absolutely, totally nothing. The team is just as reliable as the current president right now. A bum. A group of bums led by a bum, and the nation is ran by a bum. There isn't really anything else for me to say, really. There isn't. It's a national disgrace, I would argue, that you have Nigeria missing again another tournament, because ultimately, if we're honest, the higher-ups and people don't really care. When you look at other teams, I know you've got Italy, people complaining, etc. The reality is, if your country and federation cares, they'll make the investments, they'll do the planning, and they will make sure that they bring young, youth, local talent, develop them to get them through. South Africa, all the South African players play in the South African League, and they're at the World Cup. I'm not saying they're awesome, but they're there. Nigeria, here we go. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. I'm tired. But yeah, I watch AFCON, but not for Nigeria. No, I'm not supporting these Super Eagles anymore, and neither should you, because the reality is you'll just get more of the same stuff, the same players, the same disappointments, the same worthless, overpaid bricks. Peace.